Hey there, I'm Miami Kev and I'm back in the wasteland. It's been a while, it really has. Today we're going to be talking about the cancelled Fallout movie from the early 2000s. It's crazy, to think that we would ever get a Fallout media that's not video game form. I wonder if that'll ever happen. Also, I want to know, are you guys excited for that new Fallout series, the Amazon series? What do you guys think? Do you have high hopes for it, or do you really not expect it to be that good? Me personally, I don't know. I'm really not sure what I think of it. I feel like it's gonna be bad. I don't know. I just have a bad feeling about it, and I wish I didn't. I love Fallout, and I really hope that it turns out good, but I just have a deep feeling in my stomach that it's gonna be ass, and I'm gonna be heartbroken. But that's besides the point. We're here to talk about the Fallout movie. Alright, let's set the stage. The year's 1998. It's been 1 year since Fallout 1 came out. And later this year, Fallout 2 is coming out. Fallout fans are foaming at the mouth. So naturally, what do the people in charge of Fallout do? Well, of course, they're going to start a movie studio. That's right. Interplay Films was established in 1998. A couple years later, year 2000, it was announced that we would be getting an official Fallout movie. Interplay Films, who partnered with Dark Horse Entertainment, would then contract Brent Friedman, who's also the writer of Dark Skies and Mortal Kombat Annihilation, to write a script treatment. Unfortunately, we would never end up seeing this script, and it'd be lost to the wastes. Nah, I'm just messing with you. The entire script got leaked in 2011. Now the thing is, this isn't like a fully developed script. It's a film treatment, and what that means is that it's just like a little breakdown. Like, it doesn't go into full detail, it's just a whole lineup. It's an outline of what happens in the film, so, nothing crazy, but at the same time, it is crazy that this actually exists, and I'm gonna be reading it. But anyway, now that we got that intro out of the way, I'm still not good at intros, but I did my best. I'm gonna be reading the script. And when I say I'm gonna be reading the script, I'm not gonna be reading it and then breaking it down and breaking the flow of the script. I'm going to read the entire script to you, so it'll be kind of like an ASMR, but no whispering. So what I'd say is keep the video running, go do your thing, and just listen to it. This would be a perfect video for doing chores. I'm going to save all my critiques to the end, so stick around after I finish reading the script. I'll tell you what I think about it, if there's anything wrong with it. Hopefully I catch it. Just real quick before we get into the reading part of this video, I just wanted to say a quick thank you to all the people on my Patreon. Quick thank you to everybody who supported me on TikTok, and a huge thank you to you for stopping by to watch the video. This is like my second actual YouTube video, and I'm still not really, fully comfortable talking in front of the camera and showing up and stuff, but I want to work on it, and as I make more videos, I'll get better at it. Really, thank you. But yeah, here we go. Let's read the script. Commuters are waiting for the metro. It looks like a present day in LA. All are reading the LA Times except for one, our hero. He's a 20-something, handsome, restless young man. He confides in a friend that he had that damn dream again, of fishing in a creek and actually catching a fish. It's not healthy to dream of fish, warns his friend. The tram arrives. Passengers board. Outside of the window is a blur of the countryside. Hero calls out scenery highlights. A red caddy, a girl in a yellow slicker. Then suddenly, they flicker and leave the passengers in the dark. A voice informs, "Due to technical difficulties, there will be no view this morning." It's revealed that the tram has only moved 10 feet from one side of cement to another. Scenery is just projected on a traveling mat. A spliced film loop. They are living inside an underground vault, housing a couple thousand people. It's a scaled-down, low-budget simulation of Los Angeles, complete with climate control and fake trees. The vibe is techno-retro, combining a 50s idyllic with late 20th century technology. Everything is designed to help vault dwellers cope with the reality of living in a claustrophobic underground world. But our hero is not coping well with this latest breakdown. In fact, he causes quite a stir. He begins protesting aloud to the other commuters that he's tired of having his whole life manufactured. There must be something better. Video surveillance is watching our hero on his public rant. Vault police stop Hero. They chase him down for disturbing the peace. A female officer paces Hero. Using her superior physical skills, the female officer finally tackles our hero. It's clear she knows Hero and she's been wanting to do this for some time. But to her disappointment, she's instructed to let Hero go. Hero is now at his prestigious job, or so he's told. He works as an assistant vault supervisor. He inspects the GEC, the Garden of Eden creation kit, as part of his daily ritual as a resident dreamer. He watches an old promo tape which explains the GEC is a miraculous one-shot terraforming device to be used by the vault dwellers upon eventual emergence. Then he discovers some anomaly in the vault's water supply. He makes a presentation to his supervisor, his father, who is pleased at how sharp our hero is, but also knows how bored he is. Father's already seen videotape of the tram incident. This is not the first time Hero's disturbed the peace. It's established that there's an internal strife between those who believe either salvation or damnation is above. It's become a generational thing, like the 60s. Hero points out that all his generation's complaints with prefab vault life is irrelevant without water. Meeting of the elders in a private upper-level chamber, a first-gen group of 7 survivors, including Hero's father, from pre-vault days before World War III some 50 years ago. The elders were selected to lead the vault from inception to scheduled opening in about 10 years. Our hero presents the problem. The water purifier chip is broken, and all the extras are used up. In 1 week, Vault 13 will be out of drinking water. The Overseer, head elder, decides that the secret must be kept from the public. They can't afford to instill panic. Because our hero is the highest ranking member of 3rd Gen, ages 15 through 35, he is chosen to lead a physically demanding surface recon search for a new chip. A scout team of members is assembled by the Overseer. Number 1, a quirky male technician, Hero's friend from the subway. Number 2, a no-nonsense female vault officer. And number 3, a cocky surface scholar. No one from the vault has been above ground since. Intel probes show that the rad levels are basically livable, and they have infrared reading that some life has survived. After the nuclear war, all communications with the other 12 vaults in Southern California was lost. How much of the world has rebuilt itself is completely unknown. Since all of the Southern California vaults are identical in design, Vault 8 is the primary target. It's a 2-day hike and maybe they have some extra water chips. The secondary target is the Yellow Pages, known as a nifty pre-war source of information. During the team's intense training, the surface scholar claims to know everything about pre-war firearms, but nothing prepares the group for the destructive power of guns. Weapons have never been exposed to anyone in the vault. So when our hero proves to be uncomfortable with a gun, the surface scholar makes a hostile bid for leader position. This only gets the female officer keyed up to make her own bid, feeling that she could take them both. This causes the techie to admit he's nervous about the whole mission. And into this chaos steps the Overseer, who warns they must work together, or not only will they die, the entire Vault 13 will perish. At home that night, Hero admits to his father that he's always dreamed of a trip above ground, but not under these circumstances. Alone in his room, the hero looks out his window. It's just like the tram, a film loop, at a distant creek. While he's packing, he finds his marriage kit. Marriages are prearranged based on genetic potential and needs of the vault. Looking at a photo of his intended, I don't like the word intended. It makes my teeth feel weird. I'm just gonna say Lydia instead of intended. Looking at a photo of Lydia, his conscience is stirred. He asks his father if he can tell her what's going on so she can get on with her life, but Dad says no. It may look idyllic, but this is not a free society. Hero cleverly eludes Vault security to bid a secret farewell to Lydia. It's clear neither actually loved each other, but they accepted their roles in the Vault. Hero can't tell her where he's going, but he wants her to start an alternative life chart immediately, just in case he doesn't make it back. They part as good friends, with her admiring both his courage and honesty. Lydia will figure into the story prominently later. Okay. The next morning, our group is outfitted with a 1-week survival kit. weapons, and cash to buy a replacement chip, in case they find a Radio Shack. That's hilarious. Leaving Vault 13 is an emotional moment for all 4 Scout members. It's treated like our first trip to the moon, complete with a live video feed to the Elders, from a camera on the Techie. We start to learn that, like our hero, each of the other 3 Scouts has at one time all voiced desires to go above ground. This is like a dream come true for them, but soon it'll become a nightmare. The world is exactly as we would expect. A vast, arid wasteland of rubble. Already the Techie is lamenting the heat, how heavy his pack is, and how he'll never make it to Vault 8. Then he spots his salvation, a payphone in the desert rubble. Techie races for the yellow pages, thinking that they can just order a water chip over the phone. But as he reaches the phone, he gets a bullet through the brain. The video feed to the Elders is lost, and suddenly, the scout team is attacked by scavengers cresting a bluff. The leader scavenger smirks at his payphone trap.
Stupid vault dwellers. They fall for it every time.
A vicious gun battle ensues where our team struggles with their new weapons. The biggest problem is that our team's single-shot weapons are vastly inferior to this scavenger's automatic arsenal. Hiding amidst the rubble, Hero and Scholar are at an odds over their course of action. Scholar wants to attack scavengers. Although the hero is devastated over the loss of his friend, he insists that they stay focused and proceed to Vault 8. The female officer is a swing vote. She backs the hero, but only because she doesn't trust these 2 guys to cover her back in a battle. The trek through the wasteland is harrowing. Searing heat is cooking them inside their suits. Their water supply is nearly evaporated. They begin a debate on the suits. Hero sets the tone and takes off his suit. The female follows, but Scholar stubbornly refuses until he passes out. They finally arrive at Vault 8, only to discover that it was infiltrated years ago. Amidst the human remains are terrifying skeletons, belonging to some bipedal species roughly 9 feet tall and 500 pounds. In what's left of the vault security, the female officer finds a videotape of a massacre by hideous humanoid monstrosities. They seem impervious to bullets. What if these things were still living inside of Vault 8? Our hero says they must have a water chip at all costs, and shows his bravery when he volunteers to venture down alone into the dark bowels of Vault 8. It's a ghost town inside. An expert on vault layout and design, the hero descends 3 levels on a rope. This place is identical to Vault 13. Arriving at the water purifier, he finds the whole mechanism is decayed. The chip is corroded, all hope is lost, and behind him the rope falls. Hero realizes that he set off an alarm and bolts. The hero has to outwit a lethal obstacle course in order to escape, only to be captured near the exit by Mad Max character. Why the hell did they call him Mad Max character? Okay, good. We just call him Max from now on. Max, who has already caught and bound the other 2 scouts, is impressed with Hero's survival skills.
No one's ever made it back up to level 1. Unfortunately, I still gotta kill you for trespassing. Heh.
But then Max notices insignia on Hero's canteen. They're from Vault 13. Max asks what are they doing here. Hero explains the water chip saga. Max offers to get them a new chip in exchange for Vault 13's Gek. Other scouts insist Hero can't make that deal. Each vault only has one Gek, and that is their future. But Hero reasons the future is a luxury they can't afford right now. It's a deal. On my life, he says. Max will take our team to the Hub, a trading post about a day's ride away. Travel through the desert on Max's customized ATV, past a walled village where a 2-headed boy waves at them.
Fallout freaks,
Max comments.
Came out of their vault too early. Nothing of value inside there unless you like your steaks with hair on the inside. Heh.
We establish a developing chemistry between Max and the female. Bruh, already? Damn. Okay. While the hostility percolates between Max and the cocky scholar, whose formal knowledge of this world is in direct contrast with Max's survivalist mentality. Meanwhile, our hero begins making a personal Pip-Boy chronicle of this strange surface world. Back in Vault 13, Lydia is comforted over the sickness of our hero, who has been quarantined for the virus. We learn that this is the Elder's cover story for Hero and the other 3 scouts. To placate Lydia, she's given Hero's old job in the operations. Lydia confides news of top-secret surface quest to a friend. Throughout a series of cutaways, we see a spreading story of Surface Quest begin to unravel the social stability of Vault 13. The rumor is, it's the end of the world as they know it. Max drives his ATV to the top of the Hollywood Hills. Looking down on the LA basin, our team is stunned by the sight. LA has literally become a jungle, a massive tangle of mutated flora and fauna, spreading from the foot of the hills all the way to the ocean. Poking up through the canopy are the remains of the scattered LA skyline. According to Max, this jungle was created by multiple geks, used when the soil was still irradiated. Venturing into the jungle on the ATV, our team utilizes remnants of the old freeway system. Oddly, a few stoplights are still working, and still ignored. In some ways, little has changed. Hero notices semi-mutated kids living in the treetops, like monkeys. Max explains that they are the result of nasty mutant experiments conducted on humans. Turns out the mutants rule the jungle like a mafia. They should be avoided at all costs. We arrive at the hub. It's the blasted out remains of the Beverly Center. There's valet parking outside for those who could afford it. Max leaves his precious ATV with the shifty valet, warning the lad that he's now sitting on a mine. If he leaves the seat, it blows. If he tries to disarm it, it blows. If the odometer changes, it blows. Only Max's remote will turn it off. Inside the hub, a Persian bizarre atmosphere pervades the one-time shopping mecca. Each store is now a trader stall, where tools, supplies, and even human slaves are traded. Our team is forced, like every other shopper, to check their weapons at the door. Max warns them that this is a very dangerous place, to only follow his lead and always keep your eye on your nearest exit. Meanwhile, all eyes inside the mall focus with conspiracy on the Vault 13 team. Their Vault 13 canteens signal them as newly hatched chicks, each marked with rare supplies and pristine genetics. We learn from Max that Vault 13 is the last of SoCal vaults to open. Same hype as King Tut's tomb. At one stall, the cocky scholar is embarrassed when he tries to barter for water chip. He has 5,000 in outdated dollars and a Visa card. Even Max is embarrassed but amused by this group's naivete. The hero spots a couple of the scavengers who murdered Techie. They are selling his friend's personal belongings and body organs. Hero snaps. The horror of this world has finally gotten to him. And with the scholar, Hero attacks the scavengers. Because no one has weapons, it turns into a huge brawl. The guys are getting whooped, especially the scholar, causing Max to reluctantly intervene. But the female officer beats him to it, showing her amazing fighting skills in the dispatching of the scavengers. Max is plenty impressed, but that doesn't stop the group from being arrested. They are brought before Decker, the insidious mayor of the hub. His office is the last standing movie theater. They have to wait for his favorite scene in Blade Runner to end.
Now that would have been a fun future.
Clearly, Decker and Max have a history. An unpleasant history. But when Decker sees the other 3 are from Vault 13, he's willing to forgive transgressions. They can barter directly with him. He'll get them the water chip in exchange for 2 of their lives, one of which must be the female. Hero objects. Max wisely says that they have to think about it. They are made guests of Decker for the night. Talk business in the morning. Hero wants Max to take them to another trading hub, but there is no other one. Max barely has enough gas to make the trip here and back. There are rumors of more hubs, but as far as anyone knows, this is the world. Take the deal or take a hike. Max pragmatically suggests 2 guys draw straws in the morning to see who gives themselves up for the good of the vault. Weren't they volunteering their lives when they left the vault? Question mark. The group is granted entrance into Decker's private club of depravity. Max buys our trio drinks, tells them to loosen up. We establish a budding Skywalker Solo relationship between Max and our hero. Man, what the fuck? We establish a budding Skywalker solo relationship between Max and our hero. The dinner specials include coyote stew, grilled gecko, and an assortment of other exotic local fare. After dinner, Scholar unwisely partakes in the various female desserts offered. Hero is tempted by semi-mutated women, all trying to get their hands on his pristine bodily fluids. But Hero uses time alone to continue his Pip-Boy chronicle and contemplate the trio's dire predicament. An ancient, self-proclaimed historian approaches our hero, wanting to know all of the details of Vault 13. Turns out the historian is writing the definitive book on World War III. Vault 13 is the final chapter. Each vault was populated by upper middle class families buying the equivalent of a timeshare in the future. Our hero asks how the war started, and is shocked to learn that it wasn't China, or North Korea, or India that fired the first strike. The first nuclear bomb was launched by the creator of the vaults, a zealot businessman who wanted to fulfill his own prophecy of world annihilation. That first bomb triggered a panic chain reaction among other countries, leading to a 4-hour World War III. We find our female officer and Max in a private club in the room. She's never met a man like Max before, and she offers her body to Max. She doesn't want to die a virgin. God, this is so fucking cringe. This is so late 90s, early 2000s. Hell, this even feels 80s. What the fuck? Anyways. It's been a while for Max. Foreplay becomes his backstory. What? As a young boy, he left Vault 8 with his father and other survivors of the mutant attack. The survivors took their Gek to start a new life. It didn't make it far before father was killed by scavengers. Max was then sold as a slave to young Decker. He helped him build this hub, but he escaped when he was a teenager. Returned to live alone in the trashed Vault 8. He's always wanted to live out his father's dream. If this all works out, he finally may get to. Late night raid on Hub by mutants breaks up the party at the club, and the near max female consummation. All exits are sealed. Word quickly spreads that the mutants are looking for pristine humans, meaning our trio. Max urges Hero and female officer to flee. Mutants can't be stopped by bullets, but Hero doesn't want to leave missing Scholar behind. Max admires Hero's loyalty, but suggests a good leader can make tough decisions for the betterment of the group. And this is one of them. Forget the prick. Moments later, the Scholar finds them, says he found a way out of the hub. Max is skeptical, but they follow, into an ambush, where Decker is waiting with a gang of mutants. Turns out the Scholar sold out our hero and female officer, offering them both to Decker in exchange for a couple more water chips and a stockpile of automatic weapons. The Scholar's seen the future, and he knows what Vault needs most. It's clear Decker is in a league with the mutants, who are the ones with the real interest in the hero and female. Max turns the table, puts a secretly stashed gun to the female's head. He now has what the mutants want, and he wants the Gek. The hero and female are shocked by this betrayal. Decker refuses to be cut out of this deal. Max can never trade again at the hub. Max doesn't plan to, and cuts Decker out of the deal with a bullet to the heart. Okay. Something he's been wanting to do for years. Max thinks he holds all the cards now, but the mutants want more than just 3 humans for the Gek. They want the location of the bountiful Vault 13, something Max agrees to give them only when he has the Gek, and a safe passage back to his ATV. A deal is struck. Hero, female, and Scholar are taken away by the mutants, who inhabit the vast underground parking lots and tunnels beneath the shopping center. Our 3 scouts are made captive in a medical lab holding cell. Scholar rationalizes his traitorous decision as what was right for Vault 13. When mutants come, he volunteers to go first. When he's tortured though, he quickly surrenders Vault 13's location. Bruh. Hero and female watch in horror as the Scholars prepared for dipping in the forced evolutionary virus by the fearsome Master, the leader of the super mutants. Turns out the Master could not afford to buy into a vault, so he created the FEV to adapt Fallout survivors like himself to hostile radiation conditions. The formula worked and superhuman side effects were a pleasant surprise. But we learned that the mutants are also sterile and need humans to sustain their numbers. This is why the Master turned the basin into a jungle with stolen geks. LA is just a cattle field for humans, an inviting oasis amidst the wasteland. Master has been testing all sorts of genetic combinations for years, but our heroes represent the last chance at creating pure bloodlines to mate us fertile, mutated Adam and Eve, a chance to start the perfect master race. Meanwhile, Max is led to a huge mutant warehouse filled with everything they've pillaged from vaults over the years. Max is given a gek, but it's defective. Mutants don't care, they already have the Vault 13 location from the Scholar. Max takes matters into his own hands and outwits, then kills the mutants. That doesn't really make sense because he deadass said that you can't kill. What? He said you can't kill them with bullets. Okay. Now he has access to their vast storehouse of amazing weapons. While Hero and Female are led to the FEV dipping vat, Max uses a turbo plasma rifle to infiltrate heavily guarded vat room, rescuing Hero and the Female at the last second. According to Max, this was his plan all along. Hero and Female have no choice but to trust him now. He's got a water chip to prove his sincerity. The FEV vats are destroyed, but the Scholar has already been dipped. He can't be saved. As mutants close in, our heroes help Max blast their way out of this underground labyrinth. His empire crumbling all around him, the Master tells the Scholar mutant he has a plan. The terrified valet is still keeping Max's seat warm when our trio comes from the ATV. But as they race out of the jungle, mutants and armed vehicles follow in a hot pursuit. A lethal high-speed car chase ensues on the twisted remains of the freeway system. Amazingly, the mutants seem to give up their chase at Mulholland Drive at the end of the LA Basin. Our heroes finally make it back to Vault 13. Understandably, the hero and female think they are saviors. But when communication is initiated with the vault interior, the Overseer rejects their re-entry. Truth is, they have all the water chips they need. This was just about purifying their collective conscience.
Discontent is contagious, worst disease known to vault dwellers.
Hero's father starts an uproar of disapproval amongst the elders. Clearly the Overseer is acting unilaterally. With the trio trapped outside of Vault 13, the Scholar mutant has led the Master and an army of dozens of mutants back to Vault 13 for an ambush. The trio fends them off outside, until Lydia starts to open Vault for Hero's return. The Overseer orders her to stop, but she won't, so he kills her for the good of the Vault. But the hero's father finishes what Lydia started and lets the trio back inside. He challenges the Overseer's authority and implores the other elders to help him arm the populace. Ironically, the social revolution that the Overseer sought to keep suppressed in his idyllic vault now erupts as a desperate battle for survival. With dozens of mutants on attack, most vault dwellers die, including the hero's father who dies in his son's arms, so proud of what he's become. During the battle, the Overseer is destroyed by the Master, who recognizes him as the creator of the vaults, the one who started World War III 50 years ago. As the battle winds down, the hero bravely takes on the superhuman Scholar mutant. Using his knowledge of the vault, the hero leads him into a brutal trap, crushing him beneath the subway car. Meanwhile, Max and the female double team to defeat the Master. When the dust has settled inside the vault, only a handful of humans have survived. Hero honors his deal with Max, even though the Gek now represents Vault 13's best hope for survival above ground. Max offers to let what's left of Vault 13 join him, but Hero doesn't think the survivors are ready for the world above yet. He's not even sure he's ready to go back. The female officer is torn over staying or going, but she decides to stay with her people. As Max leaves the vault with his Gek, the Master is playing possum, and he injects Max with the last strain of FEV. The hero and... What the f... That has gotta be the stupidest shit I've ever read. Hero intervenes and kills the Master once and for all. But Max will become something awful soon. Max wants the hero to kill him. He'd do it himself, but he can feel that the virus won't let him. Heartbroken, the female won't let Hero do it. But the hero takes charge. This is one of those tough decisions a good leader has to make. Outside of the Vault 13 entrance, the female waits with a group of 50 scared survivors, all that's left of the vault. They are packed to travel. From below we hear a single gunshot. Moments later, our hero emerges with the Gek. He is going to lead this group to find a new home. He's going to fulfill Max's dream. The female officer looks in admiration at the leader our hero has become. What began as animosity between peers has become mutual respect, with the promise of so much more. In the final montage, we see that the Vault Dwellers have settled in a peaceful arroyo, where the hero initiates the Gek, turning this little portion of the earth into a lush paradise, the new Eden. Life begins anew, and the final images of our hero and the female, truly the new Adam and Eve, with children now, fishing in a stream, catching a real live fish. What the hell did I just read? As you can tell from my voice, reading this script has drained me mentally, physically, and emotionally. I'm a shell of what I was before I read it. This shit's an Elder Scroll. Don't read the script. So yeah, that was it. That was the script. Yeah, I changed some words here and there to make it flow better, I guess. But for the most part, that's it. That's the whole script, and I thought it was pretty good. It was pretty good, but in terms of being a source of Fallout media, it just bothered me, kind of. If this was a movie or a fan film or anything, if this was like a media that was inspired by Fallout but didn't hold the actual Fallout title, then I think it would be really good. I think it would be good if you just change some things, make it more original. I honestly feel like it wasn't Fallout enough. It's wastelandy, it's apocalyptic, it's very a boy and his dog. It's just not 100% Fallout. And if something's gonna hold the Fallout title, it has to be 100% Fallout. If it's got like odd changes, like what, some of these changes didn't make any sense. It has to be 100% Fallout if you want Fallout fans to enjoy it. It just wasn't all there. But that's all besides the point. Other than the fact that I didn't feel Fallout enough, some of the storytelling was just, it was so cringeworthy. Like all the romantic stuff, all that romantical stuff with between the female and Max, it just didn't hit, dude. That is so, that all that romantic stuff is so early 2000s, and in fact it's more early 90s, honestly, and it's just whack as hell, in my opinion. Like the part at the club where they're about to get it on because she doesn't want to die a virgin with some nasty ass wasteland mofo. That just made me feel sick. I was like, ugh. I was like, gross, dude. A lot of the storytelling is so whack, bro. Like the fact that the overseer and the master knew each other before the war, it's so whack. What the hell is even that, dude? The fact that there's not a single overseer, there's a fucking commission, there's a senate. I don't know. I didn't like that. It's not Fallout. And yeah, the fact that the owner of Vault Tech is the guy who started the Great War is like, okay, did that really need to be revealed? That is so lame. Them knowing each other just feels like they felt the need to compress everything to where everybody knows each other, and that's just the moment where we learned that the Overseer and the Master knew each other, it's gotta be like the most surprising, unsurprising thing that's ever happened in film history. Like, you expect it, but at the same time, you don't expect them to do something so easy with the story. It's got that early 2000s, late 90s video game pus flowing through it, bro. I'll tell you. It just got that same feeling. Like, I mean, it makes sense that this is the same dude that scripted Mortal Kombat Annihilation, because that was an awful adaptation too. A part of me is kind of sad that this never came through. I would have honestly enjoyed it. We need more post-apocalyptic films, in my opinion. Now, I haven't played Fallout 1, I'm not gonna lie. It's just not interesting to me. I mean, the story's interesting, but the gameplay it's just not my vibe, okay? The gameplay is cool. Shit, I mean, I didn't play it, but I watched quite a bit. I've watched quite a bit of gameplay on Fallout 1. And a lot of the story beats, like, they're familiar, but they're completely different at the same time. Also, hold up, bro. I know for a fact that the Master is, like, oozed up he's bricked up into a computer and he's immobile. How are you gonna tell me that? I'm just thinking about it now. How the hell did this dude inject Mac with some fucking magical serum? Like, did he just have some vials? He did that shit with his tentacle? Like, okay, dude, they're just gonna change it up like that. Apparently, I don't know what he looks like, but the master just has legs now. The fact that Max was like, you know what, you guys can come with me. I'll take care of y'all. And they were like, no, we want to stay here, actually. We don't want to go with you. And then Max straight up dies. And then 2 minutes later, they're like, okay, everybody get grouped up, get your stuff in a backpack, we gotta go. We gotta go. Like, where was that mentality 2 minutes ago before Max died? Like, that is so stupid. Maybe if they decided to go with Max, maybe the motherfucking master wouldn't have stabbed him in the neck with a syringe. Like, it's so dumb. And oh my god, is this ending corny. Like, for real, after all that relationship drama with Max and the female, it turns out our hero and the female are the next generation Adam and Eve. That is so corny. The thing is, like, they didn't really interact at all after that first interaction in the beginning. It just feels like, what was the point in killing off Max? It's just awkward now, because, like, okay, we killed off the love interest for the majority of the movie, so now main character is love interest, and we got 30 seconds left on the movie. That's brilliant. Just real quick, I wanted to say, I hope you like all the fan art that I'm showing you real quick. Big shout out to all the people who submitted all this fan art. And if you want to give me some, just join my Discord. There's going to be a link in the description. We have a whole channel that's just dedicated to fan art. Also, I have a Patreon at the moment. I'm not big at all whatsoever, but I know some people are very generous when it comes to money and supporting the art that people create. In my case, it's videos. I already have a couple, but yeah, no, that's completely your choice. It's whatever. Just wanted to make sure people are aware of that.